I'm delighted to say that joining us now on NFL End Zone from talkSPORT ahead of Sunday Night Football against the Chicago Bears, live and exclusive on UK radio with talkSPORT, is tight end of the Houston Texans, Brevin Jordan. Brevin, how are you doing, sir?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
Yeah, great. First thing, as a man with a first name for a surname, do people call you Jordan all the time?
Nah, man. Everybody actually calls me Brevin.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I've
get
never been
Gavin
called Jordan
literally
before.
all the time, so
Nice,
I envy you. I
nice.
really do. um, let's start off with last weekend against the Colts. You guys go from having one of the best passing attacks in the NFL last season to suddenly going 213 yards on the ground. What for you has been that big focus, that big change, and is this going to be the norm we see from the offense this year?
I think last year we wanted to do it. You know, we struggled with it because it's a new scheme for us. So I think this year the attack and being able to be balanced, running the ball and passing the ball is huge for us. It allows us to, when we run the ball well, it allows us to pass the ball well. So I think that's definitely going to be the norm. It's the tree of the Shanahan tree. I mean, the history speaks for itself.
We saw a lot more 12 personnel from you guys this weekend, which means we get to see plenty of Brevin Jordan on the field. That's got to be something you're excited about.
No doubt about it, man. No doubt about it.
What are you feeling like there is going to be more opportunity for you this season, more chance for you to show what you can do?
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, last year I didn't play at all really the first game. I was hurt. I struggled with injury early in training camp, so I didn't really. I was learning the scheme a lot last year throughout the whole season, just being able to learn it and rep it. So I think this year, having training camp, having OTAs, and being in the scheme for a whole year, it's allowed me to show my ability and be able to help this team.
I saw you talking in the offseason about that playoff touchdown last year and essentially saying, I don't want to talk about it anymore because I think I can do it week in, week out. Is that the approach this year? Is that now your mindset?
Most definitely, bro. That's definitely the approach.
Love it. Talk to me a bit about the impact of those vets that were traded in this year. Joe Mixon, obviously a huge game on Sunday, but him and Stefon Diggs, what they've brought to that quite young unit.
Yeah, I mean, they've been huge, but not just, Stefon and Joe. We have, guys like Daniil Hunter, Aziz, them guys just, our coaching staff and our everybody upstairs, they do a great job of bringing in guys that will fit the mold of the Houston Texans. Like, this team's not for everybody. We work hard, we practice hard, we grind, like, it's what we do. And if you're not with it, then you can go on the other side of the road. And they brought in guys that are committed to that want to win, have a established history of winning, and I mean they fit perfect like a glove.
It's got to be great for someone like Joe who comes in with a few question marks for like a late round pick, and we saw lots of motion from you, lots of blocking for him, but to be part of that and see him have a game like that has to be really rewarding for that whole unit, right?
For sure. I mean, for sure, bro. When your teammates are cooking, like when they out there going to work, that just hypes everybody up. And the offensive line don't get enough credit. Them guys are they're the foundation of our team, and they don't get no credit, of course. So when Joe Mixon runs for 160, 60, 70 yards, you know what I'm saying? That's the credit the O-line gets, and, we love that. It's a part of what we do.
You talked a bit about that intensity and about like the way your team works. In DeMeco Ryans, you might have one of the most intense human beings I've ever spoken to, in both like in a really good way, but how do you think he balances that intensity with your training, with your build-up, and what has he brought to you over this last kind of 12, 14 months?
Yeah, DeMeco is the best coach I've ever had in my whole football career, dude. Like, he's passionate, he cares for the players, and the way he just goes about his business, like, he's committed to this. Like, he really, really wants to win, and if you're not willing to do it this way, if you're not willing to do it the Houston Texans way, then you can go. And so just having him, he's a player, he played here, so just having him as my head coach, bro, it's been unbelievable. I can pull him to the side, ask him questions about, it don't even got to be about football. It could be just about life. He's that personable to us.
Have you really seen that difference then in the whole vibes around the building? Because obviously DeMeco comes in, we'll ask about CJ as well, but that kind of, you get two real leaders coming in at the same moment, and it feels like a different organization to what it was 4 years ago, let's say.
Bro, it absolutely was it's a completely different organization. The DNA, the identity. My first 2 years here was tough. Like, we didn't have like a real identity. We had a lot of losing ways, a lot of losing habits, and DeMeco came in and flushed all of that, switched up everything. Like it was a change. It was beneficial to the organization. He came here and he said this is how we're gonna do it, and I mean we've just followed the plan.
Does he have fun as well?
Absolutely, DeMeco's hilarious. He's hilarious.
I'm glad to hear it because we see just this consistently intense human being.
Nah,
So,
he's
like,
hilarious, bro. DeMeco is hilarious. Yeah, he has some funny moments for sure.
I was going to say, is he a jokes guy, a pranks guy? Like, what's
He's
hilarious?
a joke guy for sure. He'll just crack a joke in the middle of a speech, team meeting. He'll just crack a joke out. Like DeMeco is hilarious.
I love that. Love to hear it. Let's talk about CJ Stroud because I love what we've seen from him. I loved what we saw from him last season. Yeah, unbelievable the way that young man hit the ground in the NFL. But this offseason, the way that he's approached the media, the way that he's been out there and so open, the way that he just loves breaking down film, both yours and everyone else's, I feel like it's been really refreshing as someone from the outside. So tell us a little bit about what it's like being around him day in, day out.
I mean, being around him day in and day out, he's literally just one of my friends, one of my close friends. Like, he's a guy. He's just one of the guys. You know, the media, you guys, I love you guys, obviously, but you guys have a way of putting things, bigger than it is. In reality, man, CJ just invited us over to his house. We're gonna watch the fight on that night and eat some wings, and we're just gonna kick it. Like, he's that guy. He's just a cool dude to be around. Like, no problems ever with him. He laid back. Like, that's CJ Stroud. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my dog.
Is it the same in game? When we see the Colts fighting back at the weekend, is he just always that cool and calm in game as well?
Yeah, he don't flinch. Like, that's just him. It could be a bowling game, a basketball game. He gonna step up and he gonna knock it down like that. He don't flinch. He a West Coast kid. Me and him can relate a little bit.
Was there a moment last year where you really saw it, where you had that moment of a guy who'd been in Houston, who'd gone through those couple of tough years? Was there a moment where you saw just how special he was, maybe, and just how he was exactly what the Texans needed?
I knew he was going to be special actually early in training camp. I think it was like our third day in training camp last year, and I had a play where I was kind of like a clear out route, like I'm not really in the read, but I had a linebacker on me one-on-one, and he threw it to me, and he just in the install we didn't talk about like him like doing that, like supposed to go on the other side to the back side, and he threw it to me, and at that moment I literally was just like, this dude, yeah, he's a playmaker. Like, he plays like you want to play in between the lines of your coaching and stuff, but if you see a mismatch or you see a matchup that you like, he's gonna take it, and that's what he does.
So Sunday Night Football this weekend against the Chicago Bears. You guys go from having 0 scheduled primetime games last season to having 6 standalone games this year. So before we talk about the game, how is the organization and how is the franchise dealing with now suddenly having those expectations? People whispering words like Super Bowl.
I don't really think anybody in this building cares about any expectations. Like, I don't think anybody really cares or even hears. Like, we hear them, of course, we appreciate it, but at the end of the day, we got to work, and we working towards a one common goal, and that's the Super Bowl. From the training staff, the coaches, the players, the ownership, everybody's like, we hear the expectations, but we don't really care. Like, we have to work.
You still hyped to go under the lights though and really show people on a national and international scale what you boys can do?
Absolutely. I mean, just wait and see. Just wait and see.
What have you seen from the Bears this week as you've built up to it? What are you excited about going up against them?
They have a really good defense, good edge players, good secondary. The corners are very talented ball skill players, are very talented ball skill players. Yeah, I said that right. They're a very stout defense, and they have a rookie quarterback. Wideouts are unbelievable. Special teams is unbelievable. So, I mean, it's just going to be a tough-nosed game, but we're ready for the challenge.
Look, we didn't see it from him in week 1, but Caleb Williams, there's been a lot of drawn comparisons with CJ because they're guys who have come in and just seem to fit the organization perfectly day one. Is that what you see?
Yeah, I mean, Caleb Williams is a hell of a player. He's a good football player. I watched him a lot at USC. He's a hell of a football player. So I'm excited to watch the matchup for sure.
Beautiful. Well, we're excited to watch it as well. Hear it live on radio here in the UK. Thank you so much for your time, Brevin. Really, really appreciate it, and good luck for Sunday.
Appreciate you, my guy.